Now, the former President Donald Trump is holding a rally in Windham, New Hampshire today. It's his first campaign rally since facing a third criminal indictment last week when he was charged with 4 counts for his alleged efforts to overturn the 2020 election results. Well, the former president continues to lead in the polls among Republicans, maintaining a healthy lead over Governor Ron DeSantis, who has his own problems. Well, during the rally, Mr. Trump defended himself and took the opportunity to criticise President Biden's relationship with China.
And it is a national tragedy that Joe Biden, Crooked Joe, he's more interested in where's the money coming from. To him, he's interested to him. How about all these things with the 30 corporations and the this and the that, the money flowing in, everybody getting money coming in from China.
Well, let's speak now to Dr. Lauren Wright, lecturer in politics and public affairs at Princeton University. It's good to talk to you, Dr. Wright. Let me ask you, first of all, you've been listening to a little bit of what former President Trump has been saying. The formula pretty much stays the same, doesn't it?
It really does, and this is a tried and true rally speech for him. The structure is very typical for a Trump speech. It's sort of rambling and conversational. It's very entertaining with the jabs at Chris Christie. He said, don't bother him. He's busy eating. I won't call him a fat pig. We're not allowed to. And then he went in on Ron, who he calls DeSanctimonious. That nickname seems to be sticking around, but it's his policy accomplishments and Biden's failures, attacking his opponents. And now he's getting into some of the January 6th, and I really won Georgia, and it was a perfect phone call with the Secretary of State. So, Miriam, it has really spanned the full menu, if you will, of the Trump strategy. And
it feels like, despite all the indictments, despite the recent events, nothing really has changed in that strategy.
I think that's an accurate characterization that nothing has changed. National polls of the contenders in 2024 have been remarkably stable since April now. Across all of these different indictments, Trump has been in the 50s, and he knows that. That's probably why he's skipping the debate later this month. That's a pretty smart strategy since he's so far ahead. And part of this speech was bragging about those polls and how far ahead he is. He is sort of taking a victory lap already and transitioning to attacking Biden as if he's already in a general election environment.
I mean, let's talk a little bit about public perception, because what Donald Trump is saying to people is one thing. What people are actually hearing is quite another. Has that changed, do you think, because of recent events?
So we're still too early from the election for the voters who matter most in the general, moderates, people who just incidentally pay attention to politics, to really be watching these sorts of events closely. But the hardcore supporters and primary voters are many times. And so each candidate is sort of perfecting their message at this point. And frankly, Ron DeSantis is very far behind. He has a lot of ground to make up. And so unless the structural factors change tremendously, not in Trump's favor, he is so far sailing through this primary with all the falsehoods that he's spouting and all of the theories about himself.
And Dr. Wright, let's take a look at Ron DeSantis, because interestingly, we've heard, haven't we, that he sacked his campaign manager. So he really is struggling.
Yes, and that's smart to shake things up when they're not going well, certainly. But some of this Ron DeSantis doesn't have too much control over. I mean, even when he was the darling of the Republican